Hey, this is Mike S. Thanks for joining me. It's always our pleasure to bring you these videos. So in the last video, we looked at a simultaneous close. What was the purpose of the simultaneous close? The purpose of the simultaneous close was when you didn't have any money, we would get a hard money lender to come in with the deposit when you purchased the real estate. So if you look at the last video, this is simultaneous close part 2. I'm going to go over the transaction again because I did 50, 60 of these transactions. Okay? So number 1, and I'll recap all this for you. Number 1, we do a simultaneous close. The purpose of the simultaneous close on a piece of real estate. I'm using residential real estate, but you can use commercial buildings. Could be a $50 million building. The concept is the same. People do it all the time. Well, I don't think they do it all the time, but I did it all the time. I think other people do, probably. So when I do the simultaneous close, the purpose is when I buy the real estate, I want to sell it immediately. I want to get the cash. So I'm actually making cash when I purchase the property. You get that? It's kind of like shorting stock as opposed to going long with a stock. When you short a stock, you're betting it's going to go down, okay? When you're purchasing a stock long, you're betting that it's going to go up. So this is a little bit of a brain twister, but stay with me on it. The concept usually is I buy a piece of property, then I sell it to somebody later, okay? I don't want to do that. I want to buy a piece of property today, and tomorrow I want to sell the property, or a week from now, okay? I want to sell the property, and when I sell that property, I have an investor already lined up. So in other words, as soon as I buy it, I've sold it immediately, okay? I have the investor lined up, and he or she is going to buy it from me. And I had many, many investors. Why? Because when I did the simultaneous close, I got the money, the down money for the investor. That's all the investor does in my real estate transactions is they put up their credit only. You get that? I just needed people with credit. I didn't need people with cash. Why? Because I'm putting up the cash. And if I'm not putting up the cash, I get another guy to put it up. You follow me? But once I had large amounts of cash by doing some of these simultaneous closes and I accumulated my cash, I was lending the money out to the investor that was buying the property. So let's just go through another example because I have many of these. I bought and sold simultaneously $300,000, $400,000, $500,000, and $600,000 residential properties. Number 1, I have to find the property at 30% below what it's worth. Okay, so let's just use 400,000 as an example. 30% off of 400,000 is 120 grand. So I'm buying the property really for 280, but it's worth 400. Okay, why would someone do that for me? Because you have to find people. This is number 2. Besides finding the property, number 2, you have to find somebody that doesn't want it. We call them don't wanters. Why don't they want it? Look at the last video, lady's getting divorced, she needed to get out. On this particular example I'm using, this guy was down the street, he had cancer, he was living in Las Vegas, and he wanted to go home to Chicago. He had 90 days or 120 days to live. He wanted to spend time with his grandchildren, etc. Because I bought the property at 280 that was really 400 down the street, I drove the value of his house down to 280. You follow? So I actually controlled that particular market with the 80 houses in the community. Oh wow, that means people lost value. Yeah, they did. They did. That's the way the deals go down. Okay? I then found an investor because I promoted and advertised on social media using my friends in India, because they're the guys that do all that sort of stuff, that I'm looking for investors with great credit. I'm going to sell you a piece of property. I'm going to put the down money for you, and you're going to get cash at closing. So you're going to buy a property, you're going to get cash when it closes, and you don't have to come in with any money down. How do I do the deal? The property's really worth 400, so I'm getting someone to put up their credit to buy the property from me. I own it for 280, okay? They are buying it for 400. I'm giving them the down money of 40 grand, okay? So the loan on the property will be at 360. I'm buying it for 280. 60 minus 280, 360 minus 280, looks like $80,000. Okay, because the 40,000 I'm giving them, I'm getting that money back. When I buy the house at 280 at 10%, that's 30. I get all that money back. So at the end of the transaction, I have all the cash. 400 minus the 10% is 40 grand. That means they're getting a loan for 360. I'm buying it for 280. 360 minus 280 is 80. There's $80,000 cash. When I buy the property and sell it to them, I give them 40 back. I keep 40 for myself. There's the $80,000 profit in the transaction. Pretty good deal, huh? That's a simultaneous close. Yeah, Mike, but it's so hard to do. Yeah, no kidding. Anything that any money that's really made in any quantities has to do with your brain, and you're looking and finding the transactions out there, and then it has to do with your commitment, your courage, or courage of your commitment. I'm going to recap this video for you to make it makes a little more sense. So stay to the end of the recap. Okay, so here's a fast recap on this video that we just did, because recaps kind of help people. Number one, you have to find the property at 30% below the appraised value, not the market value. The market value is what Zillow tells you it is. The appraised value is what an appraiser tells you it's worth. And you got to pay the appraiser $50 or $100. Sometimes they'll find the properties for you because they just have to do very little work, and they give you what's called a soft appraisal. So first you got to get the property, number one. Number two, you got to come in with the down money. You got to come in with the money. If you don't have the cash yourself to purchase the property at 30% below, then you got to find hard money lenders. So that's number two. Number three, you have to have an investor, someone who's going to buy the property from you. But the investor, that's number three, has to have good credit. Okay, so you get a good credit investor, and you tell the investor, I'm going to give you the down money, and when you buy the property, I'm going to give you cash back. Okay, so that's number three. Number four, we go to close the transaction. Let's go over the numbers again. The house is worth $400,000. The appraiser says it's worth $4 million. I'm buying it 30% below. That's $280,000, right? I have to put the down money of 10%, so let's say $30,000 I have to put down, but the purchase price is $280,000. Okay, that's what I bought it for. I'm selling it to the investor for $400,000. I'm giving the investor 40 grand to put it down money. So that's my money. I get that back at closing. So my purchase is $280, I'm sorry, and they have a loan of $360. Okay, 280 minus 360 is 80 grand. At the end of the transaction, they didn't put any money down. I put all the money down, or I got a hard money lender to put the money down. There's $80,000. We split it $40,000 each. That's it. And this is Mike Addis. Thanks for joining me. That's a simultaneous close. No money down. We'll see you on the next video. Please comment. Thanks again for joining us.